Okay, I want to expose something about Oak Island that he didn't tell you.
Start.
We're starting.
I know, but you.
Oh, no. Well, I'll say the question later. I just need Miles to know this. There's a prophecy that goes along with Oak Island.
There's a reason it's called the Curse of Oak Island.
Because they prophesied
I know what the curse is.
that how many people?
7.
7 people would have to die looking for the treasure.
Before the treasure would reveal itself.
You know how many people have died? 6. So
The
one
curse is
more
upon the
person
viewers
still has to die.
So Max's
have
big thing is like if these people were really committed,
Yeah,
they'd kill one of them would just say, "I'll take one for the team."
They throw him in the pit.
curse is it like a local curse, like just the
No,
people that are
honestly I think the curse was made up by the show.
No,
well, they're looking for treasure.
No.
from
What I
the-
mean is it wasn't pre-existing in the ongoing because they've been looking for this treasure. I can't say what I'm about to say.
Here's
So
the
the
thing,
original
treasure
treasure was discovered in
Crusaders.
1793.
It's Crusader treasure.
They think. No, it's not anymore.
It's not.
No, they've got off the Templar route.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
So
So
good.
did we miss anything? Yes, the clarification on the fact that one more person has to die before they can find this
Yeah, we
treasure.
did miss that small little piece of Oak
If
Island
the viewers
clarification.
were
So,
serious, they'd sacrifice.
If a show,
Would I give my
Listen.
life so that they could find the treasure?
Maybe.
I'd give my life so you would find the treasure of the gospel.
Wow.
I
Miles.
don't like being strung along, and
Oh,
so
well, yeah, no, this one.
a show that withholds the whole point of the show
Mm-hmm.
for 12 seasons.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're in an abusive relationship with
No,
the
Yeah.
directors of the Curse of
No,
Oak Island.
no.
The curse is upon you.
No.
Yeah, that's the real curse is on the viewers.
No. The real curse is the friends we made.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
friends we lost along the
Rick and
way.
Marty Lagina. If you ever hear this,
You need arcs. You
Gary
need,
Drayton,
You need
Well,
payoff. You need
Alex Lagina. If I ever get a chance, Laird Niven. If I ever get a chance to meet any of you, I would literally be.
Are these fictional people?
No, these
or-
are humans.
Well,
Marty,
are they
Rick and-
fictional humans?
No, they are real humans.
Rick and Morty.
No, it's Rick and Marty, not Morty. Rick and Marty Lagina are 2 brothers from Michigan, and
They're just super rich, and they're like this.
Well,
is
no,
what-
Marty is.
Marty is. Just
Rick is
Marty?
not.
Oh,
He found the treasure.
is that part of the
No,
plot?
Rick was a mailman. He was like a
Oh.
postman in his career, but his brother did very well. Marty in like real estate, and he owns vineyards and all this kind of stuff. And so they read this article in Reader's Digest, which is a very old sentence. I understand that. Rick did, and he fell in love with this story from like back in the 50s or 60s. And so now, as they both retired, and Marty has the financial means to help his brother discover and live out his dream of discovering this treasure.
How many episodes per season?
13?
And how
20 something. Yeah.
How many minutes per episode?
We're not doing this. You're not going to get to make fun of me.
Hasn't
13 times
You're just not.
Hasn't someone
Times
died
60.
on the show like during the?
People have
the
passed
recording?
away,
Yeah.
but not died, like not been killed in the search.
Okay.
But yeah, people who have been a part of the show have passed away because it's been 12 years. Yeah, and then one of them, yeah. So there's been, but nothing. No, like we sacrifice you to the spirits of the.
How about the
Mi'kmaq tribe.
timeline of the show? Like in show universe, has it been 12 years that they've been looking for, or has it been like a year?
No.
or two?
It's been 12 summers because it's in northern Canada, so you can only go during the summer. I don't understand why that's funny.
Let's find something Miles really loves to make fun of.
I am loving making fun of this.
No, we need
Miles,
to make
you
fun
don't
of something
want-
that you love.
12 summers.
You don't want to unlock
You do this.
my screen. I don't make fun of anything in your life
Okay.
other than your obsession with chicken nuggets and how
It's
it makes my
every-
office stink.
You're welcome.
Lincoln's eating more than him these days. Because
We're not going down the who eats who's
Well, I'm not
lightly
talking about
breaded
that, but
chicken nuggets.
Pastor Lincoln puts 40 on a plate, no joke. Like that plate is loaded. Because
but he's got
everyone
his
has to walk
gains.
through our office to get back
This
to
is
theirs.
not we're not having
lunch.
this meeting right now. That's for sure. So, did we actually miss anything? I'm trying to think.
I don't think
Okay,
he's
I did.
missing-
Yeah.
oh,
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So,
Legitimate.
I wanted to bring up soap. Because
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
it kind
Yeah.
of pairs well with this. It doesn't go into detail on it, but especially for we're talking about accessibility and
I
something
sit
that's
pretty
easy.
close to you every week, and I'm shocked you brought up soap. I didn't know you knew much about it. There you go.
I'm going to clip that.
So soap
Shots
is
fired.
an acrostic, which stands for scripture. So
Actually, it's an acronym.
nope. No, actually, it's called an acrostic.
Okay. All right. Never mind. So
Yeah,
scripture.
We can
No.
Yeah.
Scripture.
Okay. I thought so. Okay. So scripture, and then O stands for observation.
Mm-hmm.
A is application, and P is prayer. So scripture is like, what is it saying?
Yep.
O is observation. What do I see that's happening in this passage?
Mm-hmm.
A is how I can apply it to me today,
Mm-hmm.
and then P is a prayer.
Yeah.
So Lord, help me to do this.
Right.
So it doesn't perfectly match with what you're saying, but as far as something that is really easy to remember, like I learned this in high school, and
Yeah.
I've been doing it with youth ministry for like 17 years, and then for students it's super accessible.
Mhm.
So
So I use a devotional called, I think it's called Everyday Meditations for Ministers or something like that. I honestly don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It's in my bag somewhere, but and it follows so it has an opening. So you open with prayer, and then you go. So it's similar in the sense, but it has a theme for each day based on the church calendar. It opens with a written prayer. So it's not my devotional prayer, but it's sort of a framing of prayer. Then you read a whole psalm, and then it has a daily reading based on the theme. So what I'm doing is I'm reading one psalm for an entire week over and
cool.
over and over again.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I love that. And then I'm praying the same prayer to frame my reflections every day. Okay? Then from there I go into the daily reading, and that changes throughout the week. And then then there's some other like historical devotional writings on that theme, so that changes day to day. And then you pray to sort of wake it up. That's your personal prayer and reflection, and then there's a closing prayer. So that's what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What made you choose Psalms?
It's what the plan does.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why. So it's an actual printed book.
I see.
Yeah, and then so they give the psalm that you read for the week. But the idea of it doesn't say this, but because I saw it has daily, but it only has one psalm. So I just sort of assumed, does this mean so? But the reading the psalm over and over. I mean, reading one psalm every day for basically 6 days, because on Sunday I do something a little different. You really start to, it slows it down.
Mm-hmm.
And even the way that I notate, so the first day that I read it, I don't have a pen or anything. The second day, I just do the underlinings.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third day, I do the color highlightings. So, but then I have to go back because different things jump out day to day.
Yeah.
And then in my journal, I'm reflecting on them differently. And so, but it really slows it down.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Proverbs one, just because
Me too.
Just for practicality. There's just a lot of rational things in there. It's just like, oh, this is good. This is just very straightforward. And yeah.
What I love about Proverbs too, so if I'm like, just to be perfectly vulnerable, like if I'm like maybe a little spiritually off track, like my heart, my mind, my spirit, all of that, and I'm like, man, I'm stuck or I'm stagnant or whatever, the first thing I will do is I will go down and read the proverb of that day. Mm-hmm. That's like, it is my all-time go-to starting point. If I'm stressed, if I'm tired, if I'm feeling away spiritually or mentally or emotionally that I know is not in line with what God's promises are for me, any of that. People say, well, what do you do? What do I do when I feel this way? What I do is I literally say, what day is it? It's the 5th, Proverbs 5. And at the very least, just kickstarts something. It breaks up the hardness of heart and the fallow ground, as the Bible says, and it just gets some life to it. So
after you do it a few months, then your Proverbs pages always look so marked up and crazy. But
and then what's great is if you've done it for 2 or 3 months, then switch translations. Right, you can just keep cranking it out, and if you really want to mix up my Bible reading, switch translations. That'll really freak you out. So.
Yeah,
I think I might actually do that this year. I read an ESV. I have an ESV study Bible, a literary study Bible. It's a little different.
Yeah, hers is really cool. By the way, we should put a link to that just because it's one of the better study Bibles I've come across.
It's cool. Basically, it's only analyzing like how the literary devices. So it's like an English class reading of the Bible, which is cool. But I might I have an NIV Bible I might use for a little bit this year. But one thing that I do,
what do you do?
that you can validate this as a tip or not. If I read something, especially this works particularly for ESV, and it's just nothing's going on up there, I'll go and then I'll read it in the message. Like I'll get on my phone. And normally that gives me enough start, like if my car don't start, that's like me the key's not turning over. I skip over onto the message and I'm like, okay, I get this a little bit better now.
Yeah, I do.
Start from there.
As long as it fits in that formal, fluid-free boundary, I'm actually a big fan of that too. Like if something's not sticking or it's not coming to life, go to another end of the spectrum and read it in a different translation.
I did that with kids. I was a camp counselor too. We'd have like Bible things, and there was just one day that it was in like the assigned devotional for the camp that week, and I was just watching this group of girls, and they were just all like looking at each other like, what do you think about this? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it out loud for everyone in the message, and then everyone was like, okay.
And that's, by the way, and reading it out loud will help with a lot of those like arguments and flow. Like if I'm not getting the line of thinking, reading it out loud actually really helps with that.
Are you a fan of like the illustrated Bibles, like the manga or the
There's
manga
a
Bible?
manga Bible?
Yeah, there is.
Or the Action Bible.
The Action Bible,
The Action
yeah,
Bible,
exactly. So these are illustrations. They're not really translations at all, but
they're more narrative. They're more narrative.
Yeah, they're more narrative
set pieces.
They're gonna leave out sections of the Bible that's not narrative driven.
Right.
And so not like saying that those aren't right, but just
no,
because it doesn't
and
fit
probably
in
some narrative parts they should
Sure.
leave out too if it's for children. Tell me I'm wrong.
We give children the Bible, and there's a lot of stuff in there you would never.
That's a whole other kettle of fish.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why. Yeah, that's just one of the beautiful things about the Bible and parenting is that you can hand your child the Bible, and they'll never find that stuff.
Yeah, it's buried so deep in
buried,
there. Yeah,
it's buried. Right?
It is.
So.
It is. But then they stumble across it, and they're like, "Daddy, what's?" And you're like, "You know what?
That's
Ask
what
your
happened.
mother."
That's what happened with the 30-day shred. Is that the youth pastor is like, "Hey, come on, students," and then they get to Song of Songs, and they're like,
you know what's
which
funny?
is actually good.
No. But what's really funny is if you really want to talk about like truly shocking things, Songs of Songs is barely it. I can't even talk about it.
Talk about it.
No,
it's the Bible, bro.
No,
this is a Bible podcast.
No,
Where are we going to talk about it?
No, that's fine. I'm moving.
What did we miss?
So my answer to that question is yes, I'm okay with it, but not as a substitute. Right. So if it's to get your kids, like, that would be more helping your kids learn the overall narrative structure of the Bible and to get them exposed to the stories. But like, if my 17-year-old is only reading the Action Bible for devotions, I've done something wrong as a parent at that point. Mm-hmm. We should have a copy of the Action Bible up here. We should
that's
get a copy.
For you, but like, let's say the 17-year-old
has never read the Bible.
Never read the Bible.
Maybe.
Come on, man.
Maybe.
Give it to him. This is his first time reading the Bible. And
yeah, but the analogy is not inaccurate to say that'd be the same thing as, hey, don't go read the Gospels in the Bible. Go watch The Chosen, and then read the Bible.
Maybe it's their first encounter with this. Content.
And it's not that different from saying. I mean, would you say keep your kids on VeggieTales instead of getting them to the Bible eventually?
No, but that's a progression. And,
right. Yeah.
And
that's
maturity.
what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, but say it's a 17-year-old who's never.
I think I'd actually start him with the Message. Like, I'd start him with an easier to read translation than something that's only a graphical representation of an actual text. That's what happens is we have to trust and believe, at least I do, and I don't think I'm weird, but maybe I am. There is something about the engagement with the text itself, not the story of the text, right? Mm-hmm. So there's one thing for me to teach you the story of Jonah and the whale and sit down with my kids and say, hey, there's this crazy story. By the way, I can show you what it looks like on YouTube. Have you seen that clip? Yeah. The guy that got eaten by the whale?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Pull it up, Jamie. But that's nuts, right? But at some point saying, now read this story. Mm-hmm. And if I just and so things like The Chosen or VeggieTales or Action Bible or anything like that, or this new Life of David one that's getting ready to come out, anything like that is still it's still talking about the story. It's still not actually reading the story. And so, we would never, when I was in high school, I think it was Mel Gibson's Hamlet came out. And everyone was like, oh.
I thought that was Shakespeare.
Well, Mel Gibson's adaptation of Hamlet came out, okay? And we were doing Shakespeare, and it was like, oh, no. Watching the movie of Hamlet gets you the story. Mm-hmm. It gets you the big picture. It gets you one director's interpretation of what it could have looked like on all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still not reading the text, right? So Christopher Nolan's about to come out with The Odyssey, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be incredible, even though it's Matt Damon, which I don't know how to feel
Matt
about
Damon?
that. Matt Damon
He's
as
Odysseus.
as Odysseus, yeah.
Oh, not the older Odysseus, right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought that guy, the older guy, got ripped for it, and he's not Matt Damon.
No. It's Matt Damon's playing. But anyway, that.
Okay.
But that's still not reading Homer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well,
it's not
yeah,
reading Homer.
Go ahead.
Well,
And
I mean,
and if that's true, let me say this: if that's true, then how much more an actual inspired, sacred, divine thing like the Bible is? So,
I think it's just the same. I mean, to me, I'm thinking of it like people preach the word every Sunday. If you're at a good church, they're preaching the word every Sunday, and we still want people to go read their Bible.
right, but I'm
You don't
not
want them to
preaching
listen
the
to it.
chosen.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, I get what
Yeah,
you're saying. Yeah, you're
no,
agreeing with me.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, my
agreeing.
bad.
I'm agreeing with you. Like people.
Sorry, I'm so not used to that happening. I didn't recognize it when it came my way.
We go. People preach. They listen to the sermons and stuff. You don't tell people, oh, just listen to a sermon every day and you'll be good. You know, you still I think that's kind of how I.
But even that, but
Makes sense
kind
in
of
my
at the heart of the original conversation is, well, if someone is like a 17-year-old and you want to introduce them, I would actually be more inclined to get them started on the Bible itself.
What if they don't like the Bible and they have preconceived ideas that the Bible's stupid, but they love manga? They love
maybe. But what you don't want them to do is like that more than the Bible.
No, that's true.
And find it easier.
I'm talking about an initial step, like a first
a first step. Yeah, but but think about it though. Like, you know me, I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a massive comic book fan, and people are like, "Oh, I love Iron Man." I'm like, "No, you don't. You love movies about Iron." No,
I know, but I think the metaphor is breaking down.
No,
now.
because they stay there. They stay there in what they originally discovered, and then they stay there rather than going to source material. And that's the actual danger of it, is that because there is a part of our humanness that looks for the path of least resistance, we don't move beyond the accessible or the consumer level version of it and then go into the actual source material. So people ask me, I've done this before, for example, the illustration that I use is people say, well, do you like Mexican food? And I'm like, well, I like Taco Bell. Then you don't like Mexican food, you like Taco Bell. It is this accessible,
but then
consumer level version of it.
What if someone's like, oh, I like the idea of Mexican food and I'd like to try. Well, if you want to do that, you're going to have to take a flight and you're going to have to fly all the way down to, to Chihuahua or Tijuana or somewhere.
Watch Chihuahua.
Chihuahua is a province. Anyway, it's a Mexican. Yeah, you have to go to actually Mexico because that's where the sort. I'm just saying, as far as like we're talking about Lord of the Rings. That's a great example. I've not read the books, but I love the movie and Peter Jackson's interpretation of J.R.R. Tolkien's.
Right.
So, had I not seen the movie or played the Risk board game, or anything like that.
Now, what you say, that is a connective thing.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's like, oh, I saw the movie, now I want to go find and delve into the source material. Right.
And that's the perspective that I think like a lot of listeners and a lot of people may have, that they've not subscribed to the whole Bible thing yet.
Right.
But they watch The Chosen.
Yeah. What I'm saying is the danger is stopping there.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That is, and the only reason I say it's a danger is because it's a real thing. It's a real danger that happens with anything like that. Is people say, "Oh, have you ever heard the story of what's one I could think of? I don't know. I think there's one about Joseph. Have you ever heard the story of Joseph and his coat of many colors? And they're like, oh, well, I saw the VeggieTales, so I know it. No, you don't. Oh, I saw the musical Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. No, you don't. Right. You don't know it until you're here. You know a version of it.
Yeah.
And people do stay there. They do. Or even worse, they swap. The real one is when they swap it out. They'll say, oh, I don't need to read my Bible. I'll just watch The Chosen, or I'll just watch the Noah movie. You know what I mean? Or I know 10 Commandments is going to come on around Christmas time or Thanksgiving or whenever it comes on. I'll watch it then. No.
Yeah. Have it whet your appetite.
Yeah.
Like have it inspire.
So
you
if you're
to-
going to use those things, like if you're a youth leader and you're saying, hey, I got a kid, but I know they're really into comic books or manga, or my kids are really into Legos. There's a Lego Bible.
There's Lego Bible.
You know, can I use that as a Kickstarter? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But you can't live on, you can't live on that Kickstarter stuff. You have to then go and get in there. And Paul actually says that. That's what Paul means when he says, I would love to be teaching you more. This meat.
Right.
But you guys can't even, you're still basically children nursing, essentially, is what he says. So,
I live on the Prince of Egypt because that's accurate. The Prince of
dog.
Egypt is 100%.
Yeah, no,
now we're breaking it down
The metaphor
again.
breaks down when you get to the Prince of Egypt.
I just taught on Sunday about the pillar of fire.
Yeah, no,
by
Prince of
night,
Egypt.
and all I can think of is Prince of Egypt.
I will acknowledge.
fire
I will
tornado.
acknowledge that my argument breaks down with the Prince of Egypt because it's just that good.
It's
Let my people.
Oh,
if it could bring
man.
that cast,
Deliver
that voice cast together, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston on one track, that was a miracle.
No, so good.
It's so good.
So
Just
good.
end. Can we play out with that song? It would get
It
copyrighted.
will be a miracle.